Hey folks, today on the table for review we have a shootout between two of the most popular super ultra lightweight backpacking friendly headlamps out there. This is the Vitchelo, it's the V300, which is the smallest and lightest backpacking lamp, headlamp that Vitchelo makes. This is the Petzl e+lite, again, Petzl's lightest and most backpacking friendly lamp. This, just by way of comparison, is the Black Diamond Spot. It's a sort of what I would think of as a typical sort of backpacking friendly headlamp. It weighs a little bit more than 100 grams, runs on 3 AAA batteries. Notice how much bigger this is than either the Petzl or the Vitchelo. And so how is that possible? How is it that these can get down to such small size? The real reason is nothing particularly exotic. It's that both of those smaller headlamps run on two 2032 watch batteries, while this runs on 3 AAA batteries. And so by using very small watch batteries, you can shrink down the size of the headlamp enormously. But of course, saving weight and size is great, but do these things really work? You know, given that they're using watch batteries versus regular batteries, do they throw out enough light? Do they go dark immediately? Or are they really a viable option for sort of your typical, couple day backpacking trip? The short answer to the question is, yeah. These are in fact, both of these are really actually quite good headlamps. They both surprised me with the quality of the light that they put out and their general overall quality. I actually think both of these are lamps that I could easily see myself taking a weekend trip with. There is an issue, I think, with both of these watch battery driven lamps in that if you're a thru hiker and you're going to want to resupply regularly, you do have the issue that finding the extra batteries for these down the trail is going to be a little harder. On the other hand, you can probably carry, 6, 7, 8 batteries for the weight of one battery change for these. So you could probably just go ahead and resupply very infrequently and carry the batteries you need without coming anywhere near the weight of the more traditional headlamp. So okay, so I'm excited about maybe getting one of these lighter weight headlamps and cutting even just another 70 grams out of my pack. Every little gram counts. So which of these two should I buy? Let's get to that. Let's get into the various issues that, if you're thinking about one of these two, that you should consider. First, let's talk about things where there really isn't a meaningful difference. Comfort. Basically, these are the same. They weigh almost nothing. This has a traditional strap. This has a very unusual design where it uses a like a retractable cord, but it's some kind of very high performance cordage. Yes, in theory, the little retractor could break, I suppose, but it doesn't give you a sense that it's going to break anytime soon. And nor is it in any way less comfortable than this, because these things weigh so little, they just basically disappear on your head. So both of them are equally comfortable. White light performance. This is a traditional, much like the bigger headlamp. It's got one LED with a reflector. This has one LED with a reflector. So this is a little bit more of a spot. This doesn't have any reflectors at all on it, so it's a little more of a flood. I think for the kinds of sort of relatively close-in tasks that most people use headlamps for, the Petzl light is marginally superior to the Vitchelo light. This is a slightly narrower sort of white light working space. This throws a very broad, very even beam. Maybe it doesn't reach quite as far as the Vitchelo, but it's not a meaningful difference. What is a little more meaningful difference is that the size of sort of the working area is noticeably larger with this than this. Is that, I think, a major decision factor? No, because this is still an adequately sized white light working area. All right. Other ways in which these are different. Red light performance. This is a really quick one. The red light performance of the Petzl is horrible. Okay, it has one little tiny red LED, doesn't throw out enough red light. Even if you're fully dark adapted, it would be dangerous to try to hike using just this little red LED. The red LED is useful maybe for some very simple tasks around camp, but that's about it. You certainly are not going to go hiking, or even sort of, you have to get up in the bathroom in the night and go off to the wood. You're not going to use the red. You're going to have to use the white light for that. It would be unsafe. Contrast that to this. This hasn't got great red light performance. Indeed, a lot of these, I mean, even this doesn't have amazing red light performance. But this has adequate red light performance because it uses 2 LEDs, and there's little reflectors in there. So it doesn't throw a great red light, but it throws a workable amount of red light. And so this is actually something you could hike in this, in the red light. You could certainly, do work, around the campsite with it. The red light performance in this is adequate, whereas here, not so much. Controls. Vitchelo, very simple, uses the 1-button control. The button's not great. Sometimes when you push it, it doesn't really do anything. You'll have, but it just goes through, very simple. There are all the modes. High and low white, flashing red, regular red. This, on the other hand, is a great control. This stands out as probably the best design control for a headlamp I've ever seen, in any size or performance or price range. I wish everybody would make this exact thing. I don't know who designed this, but whoever did it clearly has spent some time in the outdoors, understands what people actually need, and has given you everything you want in this, which is that it's easy to use, it's easy to understand, it's easy to work while it's still up on your head. It basically let's start over here. You start over here with it sort of closed flush where it's not going to get triggered accidentally in your pack. Then you move it up one to a off but ready mode. Then you go 1 click low white, another click high white, another click flashing white. Then you go red flashing light, red, solid red, and then off. And this is brilliant for 2 reasons. One, the things you use the most are closest to off. The things you use almost never, which are the flashing things, are in the middle. And there's another off over here, so you can stay over here on the red side and never move over into the white light and ruin your dark adaptation. So you start out from off, then you go to regular red, and then oops, you push it too far. Well, then you're in the flashing red. You still haven't ruined your dark adaptation. You go back to the regular red. It's too bad the red performance of this is really quite marginal, because the red design here is just much better. Contrast that to this. Okay, so you want to not ruin your dark adaptation. You have to take this off your head, put your finger over the white light, turn it on, go through these 3 useless modes. Because he didn't take it, and there we go. Then now you're in the red light. Then you put it back on your head. Okay, but once you have it like that, it actually works, unlike the red here, which is sort of lousy, frankly. Then you go to flashing red, and then you turn it off. It never remembers where you were. I don't think either of these are voltage regulated, so I think as the batteries start to die, these are going to start to get more dim. But certainly their performance, out of the box seems perfectly fine. And they seem to have a decent enough runtime that you're not going to be changing the batteries constantly, I think, for either of these. All right, red light, this is the pure winner. Control system, this is definitely the clear winner. Comfort, pretty much the same. Changing the batteries is, frankly, fiddly and a bit of a pain. You have to, here, this one is an example. It's just like, changing any watch, you need to have a, not changing your watch, changing any of these kinds of thin batteries. You have you need a screwdriver or a coin or something to get in here, and it's fiddly to do, and it's not much fun. This has an extra mode. You can actually, if you pull this out, it has a flat, so you can set it down and use it kind of like a lamp, and it twists in all directions. And so you can use it as sort of a little spot lamp like that, which is a nice feature. I don't think you use that a lot, but if you're sitting around camp, maybe you would actually use that to some degree. And this doesn't have that, although it does have a clip that comes off of this, allowing you to just leave this at home and then attach this to a bill cap if you wanted to do that. So those are sort of the special modes that the 2 things have. One way, and frankly the reason why one of these is a clear winner over the other one is price. This one is $29.99 as I'm taping this at Amazon. This is $9.98. This has better red light performance, and it costs 1/3 as much as this. Yes, this has slightly better white light performance. It has much better controls. It's a few grams lighter, and it has that, you can also use it sort of as a lamp feature. I don't think those things make up for the price difference between these 2. I think they're both, fairly well made. They don't seem like they're going to fall apart. They're both comfortable to wear, but this has superior red light performance at 1/3 of the price. And so, if it were my money, I would recommend that you buy the Vitchelo and you you pass over on the Petzl. So anyway, hopefully that's helpful to you. Have a nice afternoon. Thanks, everybody.